my channel. My name is Misty and today's video is going to be about something I get asked about quite a few times, which is how do you homeschool and still take care of all the household tasks, especially cleaning. Let's be real, that's the main thing. And today we're going to talk all about where I am with that and how I balance everything. And I'm going to include some tips at the end as well. So before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button for more homeschooling content just like this. And the like button lets me know that this is a type of video you enjoy, so I know what kind of content to make for you in the future. Okay, so let's talk about the balancing act of it all. But like I said, I get asked as a homeschooling mom, how do I do it? How do I stay on top of everything? And the answer in the simplest form is I don't. I also do want to say there was a recent set of videos done on this specific topic right as I was going to make this video, but I feel like they hit the nail on the head so good that I didn't make this video at the time. However, I still get questions, so I'm making it now. But I will include those videos linked below for you guys so you can see their perspective on this as well. They have no idea I'm posting it, and it's not like a collab, so it's just down there for more resources for you. So motherhood itself has so much already going on. It's such a busy title. Being a mom already has so many demands without adding in any of the extra things. So homeschooling moms, the thing is you're adding even more demand on top of everything else. So you're just taking homeschool and you're piling it on top of those demands as well. Granted, homeschool becomes a priority as it is your child's education. So it doesn't just get into the busy pile, it definitely becomes a priority. But nonetheless, it's still another demand for moms to do, like just another set of tasks. Now, here's the thing. I think the reason why people ask the moms they see on YouTube this question so much is because I think that without trying to, moms on YouTube may have an appearance of having everything together. And it's not that we do. All of us on YouTube are still struggling with getting everything done and being on top of everything. But yeah, so moms on YouTube sometimes may appear to have it together more than your people that you wouldn't see on YouTube, like everyday people that aren't trying to do YouTube. But the truth is we're all going through things. We all have a lot of things on our plate. And honestly, YouTube's just another thing on the plate to deal with. And I think the reason why this happens a lot on YouTube, where it creates this almost facade of having it together, is because we only show you snippets and little moments of our day. And often we leave out a lot of the negative or the not so perfect. Not on purpose, but because we create channels where we're hoping to uplift and encourage other mothers. And so we a lot of times only put the positive content on the channel. So just keep in mind when you see YouTube and everything looks perfect, it's not. We're struggling too, just like everybody else. It's just that we are choosing to only show you the uplifting and encouraging parts with the hope of making your day better. So I have things that I'm good at and that I'm not so good at, right? So like laundry, I suck at laundry. I'm really surprised I'm almost caught up now, but honestly, it's never been caught up. Not as long as I've had kids. I suck at it. I suck at separating it. I mean, I get it into the wash, but I can't guarantee it makes it to the dryer in time before having to rewash it. And as far as folding and putting away, that is something I've been working on for 5 years. So it's just not something I'm great at. Luckily, my husband is great at it, so he often will pick up the slack on that side. And then there are other things that I'm really great at, like getting the girls' rooms, their playroom and their bedroom clean pretty quickly because I've set up a system to do so. So there are strengths and weaknesses that I have that really go into this. How do you handle it all? So just like you, it's a balancing act for me too, guys. Like I'm trying to figure it all out and get it all done, and I'm not the greatest at every part of it. And the truth is that none of us are, okay, maybe there's exceptional unicorns, but for the most part, none of us are on top of getting it all done. Balancing is not a real thing. That's the truth. So the scales often tip one way or another. Nothing is ever equal in priority, and often you're shifting your priorities. Like I'm speaking for myself here. Often the priority is shifting, and the weight is shifting just depending on what is needing more of my attention. The top priority often does change. So for instance, when I'm homeschooling, those 4 days that I'm certainly homeschooling, the house has to take a back seat. I can't be on top of it all and not lose my marbles. So the house often takes a back seat. That doesn't mean I don't work on it, But when I'm homeschooling, the main focus I have is I need to finish the tasks that come with homeschool, and the house is second to that. I try to generally keep the house clean, but I'm not going to have a mental breakdown in order to have it perfect. Not gonna happen. So here's what I do. On days that we don't homeschool, those are the days that I really do things like tackling the cleaning and the like errands, things like that. Those are done on my non-homeschooling days. So through the week, you might see me doing some daily tasks like washing dishes, things like that, obviously. But you're not going to catch me like doing a lot of like mopping, and if I see something that really needs my attention, scrubbing really hard into it. On the school days, I'm doing more like clean up and go where I can. Fit it in where you can, right? And then on those days that we're not homeschooling, I'm going to actually give attention to the things that need the attention around the house, or the errands that need to be finished. But let's be real, I can clean the house as much as I want to, but all I have to do is blink, and my 2 little tornado children have already destroyed everything that I've already cleaned. But even with all of that said, there are things that I do to make it all more manageable and easier for myself, and so we're just going to talk about some of the tips and tricks that I personally do, and that I share with you guys personally when you when you DM me and ask these questions. But I figured, hey, let's do a video, get it all out here to help generally to help people out. So the very biggest impact, the thing that made the most impact for us was doing a massive overhaul and decluttering of the kids' toys, which wasn't easy. To me, decluttering my girls' stuff can be very stressful because, you know, they grow and I feel attached, and I have trouble letting go of all the things that they're outgrowing or don't need. So it was really hard for me, but we did it. It took a whole day, pretty much, but I mean, I overhauled their toys and we donated a lot of those toys. They were still in amazing condition, but just too much for our household. Now, after the toys are decluttered, by the way, I have to do it again, but after the toys are decluttered, the next thing that I found to be helpful is to only have a small portion of toys actually out for them to play with. And this helps a ton because then cleanup is not so overwhelming for the children or you, and they're actually more likely to help. My kids do clean a lot more now that I have decluttered their toys and made it not so overwhelming to look at for cleanup time. And on top of that, we do toy rotations, which I've tried to do in the past and failed, but we're new to it after being decluttered. So I feel like with decluttering, I'll be good at this. But a toy rotation, so that means that I only have a select amount of toys out, and then once I notice they're getting bored with those toys, I'll pull them off the shelves and rotate in some of the other toys that we have stored away out of the kids' reach, and then they will play with these new sets of toys. It almost feels like they're getting brand new toys, even though it's ones that they have. They just haven't played with them in a while. The toy rotation will help keep things interesting, but not overwhelming. So they'll still have plenty of interest in toys, but we just are removing all of the overwhelm that comes with the clutter. Now, also with this, their bedroom. I'm very specific about their bedroom, and I feel like what I've done works great. I keep the room quite simple. Very simple, minimalistic. There aren't toys in there. The only toys I allow in there are like a baby crib where they can kind of role play putting their baby to sleep. That's still a calming activity that's promoting like, hey, let's work on sleep, let's talk about sleep. I feel like that has not gotten in the way of my purpose of decluttering and minimalizing their bedroom. So that's the only real toys that I allow in, and they do drive toys in throughout the day, like they're kids, they're going to do that. But at the end of the day, those toys are to be removed from the bedroom and put back into the playroom where they belong. Not only does this keep the room easy to clean, but it also keeps them from being overstimulated to help with sleep. Now, granted, my kids are party animals, they try to stay up all night anyways, but I do notice that with the lack of stimulation in their room, it is a more relaxing environment and they're more likely to go to bed, whether it's nap time or actual bedtime. So it's not perfect. It doesn't make it like, oh my gosh, they just sleep like angels now. No, they're party animals, especially when they're together and they share a room. But it definitely does help create and promote that relaxing environment, and that was my purpose for removing everything from that room. Now also with those basic principles about their rooms, because let's be real guys, cleaning the girls' bedrooms and toys, those are like the major things that take a lot of time, other than the kitchen. The kitchen's a whole nother story I'm still working on. But I feel like it's always the toys that overwhelm the house and make you like feel like you can't breathe. And so I removed the toys to remove that problem. So with that being said, there are some things in place that we do that also help keep everything clean. And that is the girls are responsible for cleaning up their own belongings. Now, I'm not saying I never clean up. I'm not saying that I don't help or just get to it and do it myself because it's faster. There are days like that, yes, where I don't want to fuss with them and put up with any kind of like argument back about cleaning up. But for the most part, they're going to clean up. They clean their own stuff up and they know that they have that responsibility. Now, the good thing about this is it takes a lot of the weight of having those toys spread all over your house away. Like when I see the toys spread everywhere, which it still happens, don't get me wrong, but there's a huge difference from what it was to what it is now. And seeing those toys spread everywhere is so overwhelming, and I just feel like I'm going to fail at cleaning and being on top of my household and everything with just stuff everywhere. And so with putting the weight on the girls to clean up their own belongings and to be responsible for that, they're actually more likely to assess on their own whether it's worth getting this all out. Like, is this fun enough for me to spread across the house knowing I'm going to have to clean it up later? And sometimes it's worth it to them and sometimes it isn't. And it's working great. But every day they're getting more used to the idea of assessing, is this toy worth dragging out all over the place? Now, also the girls know that we clean up before nap time or quiet time and sometime in the evening before bed. So they know they're going to be cleaning twice in a day. So once again, they're thinking about those toys and how much they want to pull out. I'm not saying that they don't play with their toys. They definitely do. But they sometimes will put things away before I have to tell them to clean it up because they just don't want to deal with this big mess later. Or maybe they go, you know what? That toy is not that fun to me right now. I'm not going to pull it out. I'm going to stick to this one over here. So it is really nice to have them clean up twice a day because, like I said, it's making them really evaluate their playing choices, and also it's making them help me out so I'm not so overwhelmed. If they're old enough to play, they're old enough to clean. And beyond that, those are the major things. Like I said, for me, it's the kids' rooms and their toys and belongings being everywhere. That's what takes over. So beyond that, there are some daily tasks that I notice help me to stay on top of everything and to go to bed feeling like, okay, I've gotten my non-negotiable cleaning things out of the way and I can go to sleep knowing it's not perfect, but it's livable for my own mental space, right? So the first one is doing the dishes daily. This is something that is really hard to stick to. Nobody likes doing dishes. Okay, maybe someone does, but I don't. It's not as bad as laundry though. It's really hard to stay on top of dishes, and so we've had to create a system where we know how to go about it, and that is that after meals, we're going to clean off the table and get those dishes rinsed off so we can put them in the dishwasher. Or if there's a pile of them from dinner last night, I'm going to knock them out of the way in the morning or at lunchtime, get the dishwasher going by lunchtime, and then we can put them up that night. So every day we're doing a load of dishes to make sure the sink doesn't stay super cluttered. Another big thing is tidying counters and surfaces daily. I'm not 100% perfect at this, guys. Don't think you can walk around my house and not find things on the surfaces, especially in my front room. But especially, okay, kitchen, I'm noticing lately, if I take the time every day to clear the counters and the table, I feel so much better. And it really doesn't take that long if you do it daily. Now we have a catch-all in my front room. I'm still figuring that one out. But for the most part, clean surfaces daily and it won't take up that much time and you'll feel a ton better. Now don't forget, if you are married or have a partner living with you, don't be afraid to ask them for help with chores or to permanently split the chores. You as a mom are doing a lot too. I know that they're working. Most cases that's what's going on. Some of you are still working, but if we're the stay-at-home parent, we can feel so bad about asking for help because we're supposed to be on top of it all. But the truth is, everything we're doing is a lot and it's okay to ask for help. And that's something I go in and out of struggling with all the time, but just know it's okay to ask for help with the chores. So for example, like I said, dishes can be overwhelming. I will often load the dishwasher throughout the day after our meals because I'm the one, cooking the meals and doing all the things while he's working. So I'll load the dishwasher all day. When it's done, it's his job to put them away at the end of the night. That way I can start over fresh the next day. That's an amazing system we've started recently. And the next one is kitchen related too, because the kitchen is such a big deal. I feel like it's the biggest deal outside of the kids' rooms. But also what I like to do is I tidy the kitchen while I'm cooking. So I'll have the ingredients going and everything like that. Meanwhile, while I'm not needed at the stove top, I'm over here cleaning the sink and cleaning the counters. I'll go back, check on the food. All right, now it's time to vacuum the floor, go back, check on the food, do what I gotta do. So I just go kind of back and forth between the two, and that helps a ton too, because I feel like the kitchen gets dirtied after every meal, so why not continue the tidying process while I'm already sitting in there waiting for the food to cook? And the last tip that I'm going to give is declutter your home. You guys, you have no idea. I remember one time hearing a YouTuber say, and I think it was Love Meg, but I remember hearing a YouTuber say, if a room takes more than 10 minutes to tidy up, you need to get rid of stuff. And I was sitting there thinking, like, there's no way anybody can clean a room in 10 minutes. No way. I was spending like an hour per room, in the girls' rooms like multiple hours. If you visited my cleaning channel before in those old videos, you know, like it was always cluttered. But that statement really stuck in my mind, and so I began the decluttering process, and oh my goodness, she's right. I now get the playroom cleaned in 10 minutes. If it's really crazy, maybe 20 minutes, but that just means I need to declutter again, to be honest. And then the girls' bedroom takes 10 minutes or less. And the front room is probably down to about 20 minutes, which obviously means more decluttering to go. The kitchen is a whole nother story. Still working on that. That's a never-ending job all day, every day. But we're getting there. We're learning that as you declutter, so much changes and it's so much easier. So please think about what things you can get rid of. If it doesn't have a place on a shelf, it doesn't need to be in your home. Same with the toys. If the toys are all over the floor, which is currently going on, like I said, I need to declutter again, then it doesn't have a place. It should be that it has a spot on a shelf. And if it doesn't have a spot on a shelf, then you need to remove it from the room, and unless it's something obvious, like a car goes on the ground. But then you need to remove them from the room and either store them for the next toy rotation or donate them, sell them, get rid of them, okay? So yes, if it doesn't have a place in your house, it needs to go. I hope that those tips were useful, and I hope that you feel better knowing that even the YouTubers you see where it looks great and perfect, that it's still the same. We're all struggling in the same ways. I hope that makes you feel better about that. But if you have any tips or tricks, make sure you leave them in the comments below for other mamas to read through to figure out how to manage it all. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Have fun homeschooling. Bye.